Hello.
Hi, Geeny.
Hi. How's my voice? No lags, right? Okay, great. So welcome to our second community call. I'm excited to host this again, and we already have 200 people on the stage. So I'll start right away. So um, as some of you already know, we had another community call 3 weeks ago, and we introduced ourselves and talked a little bit about how we started all of this. So if you didn't catch that, you could check our latest blog post to rewatch our first community call. Um, so this week, I will start with roadmap updates, and I'll also be posting small updates in the chat in case anybody wants to go through those links and check out more in depth all the things we've done. So yeah. We've already made a post in Twitter about our roadmap updates, and we'll just go over them real quick. So first thing is we're going on Mainnet soon, and the code for fast mode is currently being audited by multiple security firms. And once we receive their feedback and implemented solutions, we'll be ready to launch. And the first product will almost be ready for mainnet. Our test nets have proven we can provide really high throughput, low latency, and low cost for several proof systems. And it will benefit like variety of projects for their operational costs and go-to-market time. Our second roadmap goal is the proof aggregation mode, as like some of you might know it as the slow mode, but we rather call it proof aggregation mode because it's not actually about the speed always, maybe. So once the fast mode is live, everybody will be able to use this method, but some projects who do not depend on super low latency will be able to benefit from the proof aggregation service, and they could reduce operational costs. Our proof aggregation mode will make hash-based proof systems the main building block for proof aggregation, avoiding the need for trusted setups and complicated circuits. Diego actually wrote an article about this. If anybody would like to dive deep into it, I posted a link in the chat. Yeah, so to learn more about this topic, you could check all the proof aggregation solutions will use RISC-V zkVMs written by Diego. Other than that, yeah, so although we offer two different modes, like there are projects that will benefit from the both. So we're trying to prioritize the implementation of that as soon as possible after the fast mode is released. Yeah. And coming to our third item in the roadmap, the Mina Bridge. The Mina to Ethereum bridge will connect the Mina protocol to Ethereum, allowing users and developers to benefit from both ecosystems. This is quite huge, as in like Mina has a great developer community, and it's one of the few projects that are becoming actual use cases and proof of use and concept in the ecosystem, I guess. And our research team is working closely with Mino Foundation, Lambda Class, and O1 Labs to develop the two specialized verifiers and integrate them into Aligned. And once the bridge components are finished and tested, the code will go through multiple security audits, and the Mina Bridge to Ethereum will allow applications to make cross-chain transactions and expand functionalities across multiple chains. And with Aligned, we'll be getting a fast, cheap, efficient, powerful zk state bridge to Ethereum. And if you would like to learn more about it, you can still check our thread, the Mina Aligned Bridge. By the way, we'll also be sending these updates in our newsletter in case people want to go back to them and research more in depth. Coming to the fourth item, zkRust is actually something I'm super excited about, and I personally am trying to build something using it. In the last community call, we introduced it a little bit, but zkRust is basically a developer tool made by our developers to ease the process of using applications and zk VMs. It's a command line interface application that acts as an abstraction around SP1 and RISC-0, allowing developers to just write Rust code and have it proven with a zk VM with minimal overhead, and also sent to Aligned in just a few commands. Not even few, just one command. So if anybody would like to actually install it and try it, the docs and the mirror post I posted, yeah, it would be really excited to see people using and trying this. And also keep in mind that it's currently in its early stages and under development, and we are working on a version 2. Yeah, if anybody would really like to get deep into it, they could check our GitHub commits for the version 2. Yeah, and coming to our partnership updates, we've had 2 important partnerships last weeks, one being Versatus. Versatus is a decentralized cloud computing platform, and we are joining forces in building key infrastructure for decentralized and secure software. We feel aligned with their mission and team, and we've also actually had a space with them, I believe. The second one is the Anoma partnership, which we announced just yesterday, which is huge. Aligned will provide Anoma with fast and affordable proof verification, and Anomas, I will also post a small update for this in case some of you don't know what Anoma and Versatus does. Anoma is basically an intent-centric architecture which provides a universal operating system for building intent-centric apps compatible with any blockchain. So it's basically a user-friendly, decentralized application based on intents, and it tries to provide users the outcomes they want to achieve. And Aligned will be providing them proof verification. Yeah, and also, if you would like to learn more about our partners, we've been posting infra, like different category posts about our partners and what they do. And we just posted one last week for the ZK infra category. So you can go ahead and check that to learn more about different categories, our ecosystem, our partners, and all the things they're doing. Another update, too many updates we have this week, is the real life event our research team went to called Aleph. And it was a month-long pop-up city that took place in Buenos Aires, Argentina last month. So it was created by Crecimiento. Crecimiento is a movement apparently transforming Argentina into the world's first crypto nation. And Diego and our research team was part of this month called ZK City, a week entirely dedicated to ZK. I believe Diego had a talk, but it is not on YouTube yet, but I'll be posting it as soon as it's out. Yeah, but you can still check some of the updates from the Twitter blog, the Twitter post we've shared. Any different ideas you've had in this event, Diego? Like anything you would like to add, or like
Yeah, no.
not
Yeah,
sure what to talk about. I couldn't find it in my notes.
no, but it was really interesting because it gathered people from all around the world and especially Latin America, Argentina, to talk about different topics in Web3. And during the ZK City is focusing on ZK. We had participation from several of the main projects that we see in the space. We also had a hackathon of about 2 days. It was really interesting. We saw that a lot of people were interested in using Aligned, or at least saw the potential to build applications. And I think it was good also to make people acquainted with this new technology, which can solve many of the problems that they may encounter when they try to build a decentralized protocol. So it was a really nice experience. We saw that people were really focused and excited, and we hope that we can replicate this in some other places and of course help people align themselves.
Interesting. I also, maybe it's out of the subject, but it's a personal question I had about the hackathons. Like, what do you think about the amount of activity in the hackathons in terms of like, are people able to build things within 3 to 5 days amounts of period? Like, what do you think about the feedback the team is getting from like the hackathons in general in terms of expectations? I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on the time period you have, of course, and the difficulty of the things you want to build. Um, I think that perhaps in 3 to 5 days you can get some proof of concept or something interesting to show the power of what you can build. It can be an excellent start for a project. Something that we saw is that we still need to improve a lot the documentation to make things even easier, because in the context of a very time-bound experience, if it takes like some time to learn how to use Aligned, then of course it limits the amount of things you can build. So in that sense, we are going to build like more resources to help in the upcoming hackathons, so that if you want to see how you integrate Aligned, it's going to be even easier than it is now. And yes, I think that perhaps with ZK, sometimes you need a little bit more time because you have to digest more things. But I think that also once we have like zkRust a little bit more polished, it's going to be easier for you in a hackathon to build decentralized application, okay? Because you will just have to focus on coding in Rust, and learning to code in Rust, even if you're not familiar, it's going to take a while, but it's something that you can do in a hackathon. And you just have to worry about coding, not about like writing your circuits and then like creating your prover and then your verifier and all that. I think that zkRust really simplifies a lot the general flow. You just focus on coding, then you call this command line interface, and you are done. So it's really powerful. Of course, I saw like a lot of very interesting projects there in Aleph Hackathon. Some were like super interesting, and I hope to see them develop into like real projects because they seem like very cool ideas.
Cool. I might actually have a new approach to hackathons in the upcoming months, but I will mention it later. And I also posted zkRust again in the chat just in case some of you missed it. Would be amazing to see people experimenting with it. Coming to yeah, so we've also had 4 spaces since our last community call, and actually some of them were super interesting. I will also post a short updates on that if people want to rewatch it. First, we've had roll-up video stream with again Diego, and I'm a huge fan of the roll-up team myself and the work they're doing. So make sure to check that and dive into zk VMs and proof verification systems. And thanks, Boris, for posting. We've had one with Opacity and Versarus. And like guest researchers from their protocols. One of them is like they had great insight and vision on zk technology, especially opacity network. Euler Lagrange, he was working on zkTLs. It was super interesting. And Cryptonomicon from Versailles Labs discussing the use cases and placement of verifiable data across various sectors. It was truly insightful. I recommend all of you to watch it. The third space, we've had one with Gevolut about the ZK supply chain, and one with Follow Network about the real world use cases of teas. Let me actually share those two just in case. Oh, yeah, okay. I've actually shared them in case anybody would like to recheck our spaces. Coming to our fourth update, our testnet stats and explorer updates. There were several major updates to the aligned explorer, and it's way more it's way better UX, and there's more information you can see through our explorer now. And we're also working on improving our documentation so people can easily use all the tools we are building. To get to the updates on the Explorer, I'll hover through them really quickly. First of all, we redesigned the home screen so you can see all our testnet stats updated. We've changed the page for the batches, plus tooltips to preview addresses and a fresh new look for the brand colors. Also, also redesigned batch details where Yeah, so you can now see in more detail the proofs that were included in the batch. And in the future, you'll be able to search a proof hash and be redirected to your batch. We have a new view for the operators page, as well as operator details, restaked assets, and lastly but not least, restaked asset details. Make sure to check them out and drop us comments on how we can improve the interface. So finally, getting to the AMA questions, I will be asking Diego a few questions that were submitted in the AMA form we posted. I encourage everyone to put more questions in there because there were a lot of repetitions of the same questions. So we decided to answer some of them again, just so everybody gets answers to these questions. Maybe some questions get asked too many times because it's kind of hard to understand what we're actually doing. So I'll get to the first question. Are you ready, Diego?
Yeah.
What are the real world, not crypto blockchain issues Align tries to solve? Or all of this is about crypto for crypto purposes?
Well, of course, we solve a lot of problems that you encounter in crypto blockchain, but of course, the fact that you provide integrity for computer programs, that you can prove that you did a computation right, is important also outside of blockchain. For example, you can find those in applications where you try to fight misinformation, or for example, when you are doing inference with machine learning, how do you know that you were given the answer by the model you are paying for and not from another model with another set of parameters? Okay, so in this sense, proof integrity, verifiable computation solves a lot of problems that you encounter when you don't trust the other party. And the good thing is that then you can have Aligned verify those proofs, and that way you are sure that it was very likely done with integrity because the proof was also verified by a decentralized layer. And that can be useful, for example, in these applications where you want to fight, for example, misinformation.
Cool. Actually, in this uh, the space we had with Opacity and Versarus, it also had great insight on this topic, as I remember. Especially the guest from Versarus Labs had like these crazy examples of real world use cases of ZK that I did not think of before. So I just reposted it again. What are what are some of the key features or benefits that set Aligned apart from a competitor?
Well, I think that the main difference that we have is that you can use basically any proof system that you like, as long as we integrate the verifier in an Aligned, and that you get like a higher throughput and a lower latency than can be offered by competitors. So the thing is, most of the competitors rely on their proof aggregation service only, and this adds a lot of latency, and you have additional proving costs. In Aligned, you can use whatever proof system you like. You send the proof to Aligned, it gets verified, no additional work. And so the thing is, you can process like thousands of proofs per second, okay? And the good thing is, as we get more proofs, this is going to be, of course, cheaper. Some people, of course, decided to go another way and build their own L1 to verify proofs. But the problem is that what they are doing is basically competing with Ethereum. trying to build a new Ethereum. Whereas we are built on top of Ethereum, what we do is we want to enhance this very interesting and powerful ecosystem that is Ethereum.
True. Oops. I completely agree. And I guess fast mode is kind of a point that differentiates us right now. As I have not seen other models working on something like that. Most of them are doing proof aggregation, I guess.
Yeah, and there is another advantage, Geeny, that we are not just focusing right now on CK proofs, but rather on proving the integrity of computations. That means that we want to support TEs in a short future. And we also are developing, for example, some specialized verifiers for the Mina Bridge that, for example, check inclusion of accounts or solve the consensus. Because if when you want to bridge from Mina to Ethereum, you can send a proof that is valid, but you have to check that in fact that proof satisfies the consensus. So instead of having like the consensus done separately in a smart contract in Solidity, what you do is you have aligned, verify the proof, and check the consensus at the same time.
Amazing. Thanks for explaining. um, how similar is the testnet to the mainnet in terms of functionality and security?
Okay, so I think that the testnet was really good to get a feeling of what you can do in Align, the kind of throughput you can get, the latency and all that. Of course, mainnet is going to be way more secure because first we are going to be dealing with real world assets, so we have to make extra sure that everything works. There are like no bugs, no way to do anything unlawful. Uh, so we had to make some changes to the payment system. It's very good right now. And of course, we are going to explain how it works in more detail in the next release of the Aligned white paper so that you understand how everything works. And you can expect that we will make it very easy to run and be sure it's going to be secure, and that we are going to add a lot more functionality. Think that we want to integrate in the near future the Mina Bridge once it's finished, and also we have like 27 partners awaiting to be integrated into Aligned.
Amazing. Um, cheers to the BD team of Aligned. um, how does Align maintain its neutrality in supporting various snarks and proof systems? And how do you prioritize which technologies to integrate or support first?
Well, I think that the good thing is that we try to integrate every possible technology in ZK, and it's quite straightforward to add new verifiers. Of course, we try to add those that are more widely used, and we try to be as neutral as possible. Of course, we will integrate all the features needed by our partners because we believe in their projects, what they are doing, and the kind of synergies we can get from these integrations. And yeah, I think that what we try to prioritize right now was connecting with different ecosystems. That's why we are integrating, of course, Kimchi and Mina, but also we know that Rust CKVMs are very important for developers to be able to build their own applications. So that's why we're incorporating different Stark verifiers. And then we know that many people are using, for example, GeneArc or others because I don't, or Halo 2, because I don't know, they've been working with them for a long time. So we also support them in the long run, we want to be able to give you all the different types of proof systems you can get so that you are free to choose the one that suits best for your application.
When will the aggregation mode be launched? After the fast mode. But realistically, I guess like Q2, 3. Somebody asked that in the chat.
Yeah, no, we are designing and thinking how to build the proof aggregation mode. We have like already some alternatives and ideas. But right now, the main focus, of course, is in finishing the audits. I think we covered most of the points given by the auditors. We are getting now feedback to see, okay, whether we really solved some issues, we didn't introduce something new. But really, we are like very confident and thankful for with the auditors for all the work they've done. So we have this.
This question. Oh, sorry. Please continue.
No, if that's the question, okay, we have a zkRust. The idea is that zkRust is going to make easy for you to write your program. You just code in Rust, you send it to one of these VMs, the proof gets generated and sent to Aligned, it gets verified, and so then you can use the result of that verification in your smart contract in Solidity and in that way, we want to make it very simple. If you want to start getting a feeling of what it is to be aligned, I recommend you try the getting started part of the documentation. There you have a very easy example where you send a proof and you get it verified and you can show your proof of alignment.
True. I actually am planning to turn that into some sort of social game. I think it's a small side mission for me.
Sounds good, so that it's a bit more fun.
Yeah. So I can generate people proofs for like meeting me in conferences and things like that, perhaps.
Yeah,
Um,
something I'd like is to have something like verifiable gaming to be able to show that I won a game or that I collected certain items. But it's going to take a little bit more time to integrate those kinds of things.
True. Um, there was a question in the chat. Are are new testnet phases being considered?
Testnets, no. Of course, we may then try to make like some updates to mainnet, and of course, then we are going to first try them in testnet so that we see that everything is working really fine. But right now, the priority is hitting mainnet.
Oops, sorry about that. The mirror post is not relevant, by the way. You just need the documents to use zkRust. I should delete that. Yeah, so all you need to use zkRust is actually in the documents. So yeah, don't worry about it. How does Aligned manage centralization issues in its carrier network, and how do you ensure load balancing? I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, no, the thing is, right now you have like the main batcher. Of course, you can send your proofs to Aligned without the batcher, but you don't get the benefits of amortizing the cost of your proof with several others. Okay. Um, and of course, then we want to make some changes to the batcher and how it works so that it works in a more decentralized way. Um, and regarding the load, I think that one of the advantages that we have is that we are dealing with proofs that are really, really fast to verify. So really, we can handle like very huge throughput. So we can get like thousands of proofs per second. I don't think we are going to reach that capacity uh, right now, so there shouldn't be any problems with that. In fact, when we say that it's like 4,000 proofs per second, it can be even more. We just never tried like going any further, but it's possible to handle that. And of course, then how you determine, for example, the size of the batches, that is going to depend a lot on how much you want to pay. We're going to give like some options in the payment system to choose if you want to wait a little bit longer to get a lower price, or if you want to go like faster, you can pay a bit higher. Those are going to be like some of the options users are going to have. You're muted, Geeny, I think.
Oops, sorry. Actually, we've answered this question quite many times, but I think it's super important that people still understand this. What advantages does EigenLayer bring to your platform?
Well, EigenLayer is what enables our fast mode to be real because it provides the cryptoeconomic guarantees needed for security. Okay. But I think that EigenLayer brings much more to the whole ecosystem because it enables to build different types of services or programmability on top of the EVM. And so you can get lots of different services, which then you can use to build your application. So maybe you want to build, I don't know, a new decentralized app, and you need some zk coprocessor, you need to verify proofs, and maybe you need, I don't know, data availability. And so the good thing is you have these different services, you can combine them and create your application. So it's going to make easier to build different kinds of Web3 applications without having to bootstrap your network from scratch. Okay, so I think that, of course, EigenLayer is like an important part, an integral part of Aligned, but it's also something that is going to allow us to help scale Ethereum and build more interesting applications on top of that, while getting like free from some of the constraints that we have when working on top of the EVM. Okay, so we can build applications without competing really for block space in Ethereum, which is really uh, the only scarce thing we have really in Web3 and in blockchains.
Wonderful. I think we are out of questions. If anybody has other questions, we'll leave the chat open for a few more minutes to answer any questions from the audience. And other than that, before closing, um, I'll mention a little bit about our upcoming events, which are some of our team members will be in Singapore, including me. Um, we we probably will be around, and we have two talks that we will be sharing on Twitter. So turn on your notifications not to miss any of this. And the second one is chaotic goods. We'll actually, it's supposed to be a teaser, but it's a small hackathon, hacker initiative type side protocol I'm trying to launch around getting people to build more interesting things and use the tools get the tools we're building used by developers like zkRust. And I'm not going to reveal much information about it yet, but make sure to follow the Twitter and wait for the updates, I guess, as it'll start getting more active around mid-October, and we will probably have a physical event during DevCon. So thank you for listening, everyone, and hope to see you in 2 weeks. And if you wanna check all of the things we've talked about today, we'll be sending a short update with the newsletter. Thank you, Diego, also for joining us, and see you in 2 weeks.
See you. Bye-bye.